1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to iHowlers Corner. Niyazi bathi ngiyarhyma. It's a corner la sihlala khona nabangani bethu sivula nomcondo sifundisana. It's a platform yabantu aba open minded more than anything yabo. It's a platform la kungekho umuntu wrong, kungekho umuntu right, but sonke nje sivula umcondo siyavuma mangabe into right. Mangabe uvumelana nayo, it's your opinion. And the disclaimer ikhona ekuqaleni guys, asizenzi inswembu niyazi. Siyazikhulumela nje, siya engage, sivula nomcondo. With that said, igama lami uThulane la ikasibangazi ngobhumba inja yamakasi brand and angihambi ngiyi-one as always. Hlala ngiphethe izinja zami. And engakakhulumi kakhulu, bengicela abazi introduce.
Line. Sanibonani bafethu igama lami nguHotso. Uya la khona la ekasi la eTsakane.
Speaking to the mic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So yeah man, igama lami nguHotso. Kunini ngintshela ukuthi nguKheswalo. nguKheswalo bafethu. Must try and remember that name because one day
yazi ngicabangani ukuthi senzeni ukuze balazi legama. Asenza ama live mix. Siwafake ku.
angikwazi ukudlala ngelentuza Juma.
Udlala ngani kwami?
Ngefoni. Ngisasomafundana.
So
Mara samsays. Hayi ngiyashaya ngimixa ngefoni like visual DJ mara sefonini airplane yani sefonini so yeah. Actually
shoot me idea.
yeah,
ngimnandi
ngimamisa i6 ngiyamhlanje ngiyo release number 7.
Release
Facebook ngisebenzisa Facebook ne WhatsApp angikho big yabona ngikho plan nange marketing izinto efana nalezo but
asiphethe ugugu ke
I think
ulazo omnyama
yeah so introduce it so that say ukuthi
awuthanda ukuzintroduce.
No, I don't like. Hi guys, ugugu mbulazo omnyama. What's up?
Phela nje.
It's Mez here, all the way from SPO Tema, Zakero Superstar.
Yeah guys, ngibazwile abangani bami abafuna ukungincedisa ukuthi sishaye ama opening links kulena. But akunandaba nyazi, they've got my back. Bayangisupporta in everything I do. So akunandaba, and today sisechilas ikhaya lethu, shout out to them for ukusponsora. Niyazi ngintshele na last ukuthi we looking for more sponsors, more advertisers on the platform so that izokhula yabo. But ke singakhulumi kakhulu namhlanje guys i-freestyle. I-Saturday siziblomele nje kamnandi siyacoca sizi-engagele yabo. Singakhulumi kakhulu nami ngiphethe izinja zami zingirolela i-joint lapha. Si relaxed nje. Angazi or ngifuna sibe too serious.
Ay.
Or now uku-relax mode.
Yeah, sonke sichile namhlanje.
And okay, first topic sicela usivulela indlela.
Mina first topic.
Yeah, ukhalele sicoce ngani?
I don't know. Let's talk about anything. Why are you gonna do it lapha?
Kunetoti kudlula.
Yeah. Yo, we can just talk about anything, guys. I don't have anything specific. Do you have anything that you wanna?
No, not really.
Okay, I have guys. Mina niyazi ke ngihlala vele ngithanda.
Izanazo, yeah, yabo when right we trigger when.
Thursday bekuyi youth day guys.
Okay.
Yo, nasima uninterested nje ngale nto le.
Hayi khuluma awu ndoda.
Yeah, bekuyi youth
Well,
day. What do you guys think of that holiday?
What is there to celebrate? I think
Thank
we need to start there.
Yeah,
What is there to celebrate? The youth of 76, Youth and Dala, they've got something to celebrate. They fought for something,
So
which they achieved what they wanted.
Okay, that's another thing.
They
Do
achieved
you
it.
think they did achieve it?
They did because they were able to, they were heard in some way or the other. They were
Mara
heard.
bebalwele Africans sesekhona namhlanje.
But now you have a right. Private schools have got a right not to take it.
Africans.
Yeah, I think so.
But
'Cause they offer-
multiracial is compulsory.
Africans
Yeah,
still compulsory.
corner. Compulsory.
So kahle what were they fighting for? What was
That's
the
what I'm
initial
saying.
thing
They,
were doing?
I don't
Don't
think
understand.
they won. Should say. Oh, but there's a joke that I got on Facebook, guys. But apparently Hector Peterson didn't die because he was fighting for freedom. But begalande lusisi wakhe makaya emjolweni wathola stray bullets.
Yo, that's the funniest you've ever heard.
I mean, now that they say it kind of makes sense.
I know.
How does
What
it-
did
the thing is, we were all not there, and the people that tell us the versions are not
Yeah.
really the actual people.
Exactly. So
That-
we kind of made up the story.
No. What do you mean they're not
so
the actual people? I must come in here right now and save this day. because now I think it's worth it.
Okay.
Worth saving it. It's a very important day, and
Is it important? Like-
to
How is
see.
it important?
Yeah, I want to get there. To see which is a very important day. They had to change the name, so it is important when they change the terms of Lelo Langa Lelo. An example of
change it kanjani, I know.
it was not Youth Day. It was Uprising Day, something like in that line.
Oh,
so it was- yeah,
to
It was
commemorate.
recognized as a day of uprising, so
Okay.
it was specific. Another one is that one of Sharpeville Day.
Sharpeville massacre.
Yeah, they changed it to what is
Boxing
it?
Day.
No, Freedom. Is it Freedom Day or Human Rights Day?
27. ingaki kuqala?
Le
Yeah,
April, yeah, April or March, angikho sure. Sibuya kuye sindlulile kuye.
Yeah.
Yeah, na bayitshintshile. So that's
So it's important because by changing.
yeah, I'm saying ukutshintsha kwezinto ngamagama should tell you something ukuthi why are they changing? Because this event has nothing to do with reconciling, right? You can agree on that one. They can't use this event to reconcile.
The June 16th.
Yeah, we can't use June 16 to put things together. Usually what happens is that when they want to, like, the anthem, bathathe yabo sihlanganisa to show ukuthi manje we are united or something. So they're using that new song, normally questionable, but it's like a symbol of reconciling with these two societies are coming together.
So when are you
So they change.
June 16 holiday, is it important?
It's a very important, my
Being
brother.
aged.
It's
Okay.
extremely important.
See youth yakawateka.
Yeah, but
So
I
that's
asked
it's
the
struggling.
reason.
It's
What is
struggling.
there to celebrate?
Yeah.
The importance
When-
of the day. What makes you think that
majority,
No, I'm sure not-
majority is it's called Youth Day, right?
Yes.
Who's the majority that's unemployed?
it's
the
youth,
youth.
yeah.
Not just the youth. Which youth?
The
Black.
black youth.
So hence I ask again, what is there to celebrate on June 16th?
So I think we are getting it wrong here because we think that the purpose of the day was to liberate. How can I put it?
The youth.
To physically liberate us, to tangible liberation, something you can see. It was
Oh,
inspired
and
more
what is
by
it for?
an ideology, right? Because those kids there, as
Those
young
mamas,
as
those some are kids, man.
it was, yeah, but now they are old, yeah. Then
Yes,
they were
and
very
they
young.
were fighting not to be taught in a foreign language.
It was a fight against an oppressive system.
System.
So Africans,
Has the system
comrades.
changed?
I was with my colleague.
Has the system changed though?
No,
It hasn't.
It has
We are still
gotten
under
worse.
oppression.
What
but it's
were they
just-
fighting for?
So my
Glamorized.
question then comes back to say, what is the purpose if the system hasn't changed?
So at least
It's just been adjusted,
Yeah.
but it hasn't changed.
at least ngabe
So-
bebathi
But
we-
why-
we
were they
commemorate
fighting
the
for-
lives that were lost ngalila la.
No.
But bangathi it's a youth day, then we must celebrate the youth. Because
They're not
The youth
celebrating the youth.
is the one that
I
is
don't think they
suffering
want us to
most.
celebrate youth.
What do they want us to do?
It's youth day.
Because
We're
now,
celebrating
when
youth.
everything is okay and every youth is working, and are we no longer going to celebrate youth?
That's when we
Yeah,
need to
then
celebrate
we have a
youth day.
reason to celebrate.
No, guys. Then
Then why are we
we
celebrating?
are wrong.
What
because
is the day for?
every holiday we have
Okay, Mina,
is
my
not worth
question
celebrating.
again.
Not even a single one. Tell me one. Human Rights Day, is it worth celebrating?
Where, guys?
It's not.
It's not
not-
celebrating.
it's not-
It's commemorating.
Yes.
What are you
Remembering
commemorating in
what
that? In
happened
that
in Sharpeville. It's remembering what
no,
happened.
no, my brother. When they change it from Sharpeville to human rights, it changes the entire narrative now.
How does it
Completely.
change it?
It makes you.
Eshaville, okay, maybe we need to understand first because Eshaville, kuze kuliwe ubafa abantu. What was the reason?
Yeah, but the attempt here,
Guys, kumele sibuyele emuva ku-history.
Definitely.
Yeah, I
Understand
think
lama
first we
holidays.
and I
need to
think
go back to
we really need to dwell on this one because when a young child azokubuza ukuthi this thing of Sharpeville Day, what happened? You are going to have to explain,
Yeah.
you know, because now the day is specific. It's like
Okay,
Christmas
school us.
Day.
What was
Christmas
happening
is this Christmas.
That's
is
another
clear,
one.
you know.
That's
Subjective.
another
That's
Yeah,
one.
I'm just saying it's
Christmas,
clear.
Boxing Day, all of those.
All of those
Yeah.
things, you know. This one of Good Friday, you know, it's straightforward. Good Friday because
But it's
You
not
know,
straightforward to
it's not
everyone.
straightforward, yeah.
It's
But
never
I'm
even
just
a
saying,
question.
Saying it's subjective because I've
I-
got a problem.
okay.
Why does it change every single year?
Okay, it's
You
fine.
can understand.
Yeah, you
But
did raise
the
that
naming,
question last time.
You
we can
understand?
agree that how they named it is specific, it's direct. We all understand why there's Christmas Day, why there's New Year's Day, why there's
Okay, just
Hence,
focus
I
kakhulu
also
kulawo
want to
a-religious.
understand.
yeah.
Asifocuseni kulawo a-history.
Lawa wethu
Yeah.
lawa abu Heritage Day, abu
Kakhulu mina bengifuna sibhekeni yona i-June 16.
June
Because
16.
iyebhekane nathi
I
as
protect
a-
that day and I will continue to celebrate it.
What are you
What
celebrating?
are we
Because
celebrating?
I am inspired by the spirit of that generation. That's
They
that
had common
generation.
purpose.
Yeah.
They were
Now we
fighting
don't
for-
have that
What
thing.
are we fighting for right
Now, and this is an interesting point I need you guys to look at when you analyze the youth of 76.
Yeah.
Is that they knew and understood that they were fighting against a system that won't collapse even through their protest, right? It's a system that will take time. So June
So
16
they
was not
understood
just,
that
they
one.
understood it properly, because even after the day when people died, they did this thing of, I don't know how I can call it, economic what. So it's like the economic so basically no one was allowed to go to work. You didn't buy from
Yeah, we
any
shut
product.
down.
Yeah, he
State
shut
of
down.
emergency.
Yes. No. Esabu. So mabakuthola uthenga insipuphu la endleleni ohle taxi, they take it, they rip it off. But babulala. So economically they understood that black people have the power. So they wanted this government to surrender and listen to them. So this is not just an ordinary person that goes beyond Africans, but they understand that the entire system on its own is very much polluted and
So when
it's
you
oppressive.
think, were they fighting the system or were they fighting indaba nje yokuthi
They were
abafuna
fighting the
ukufundiswa
system.
nge-Afrikaans?
It was not Africans. Africans in itself is a system, but they were fighting the system.
Okay.
Africans, even today, Pumba, we can say whatever you want to say. It's an African language, it's a South African language. That thing is a system.
The
We are talking today, there's a university built by AfriForum, a Century. That means, umntwana angangena from grade R, home language yakho Afrikaans, grade 1, matric,
Afunda
university.
wonke ama-subjects
Afunda
nge-Afrikaans.
yonke into nge-Afrikaans.
So
You understand ukuthi loyo muntu lo makazoba iboss yakho? Awuna choice.
Kumele ngiyazi
Yes. Makabulisa akathi good morning. No way.
So I'll go back to
There's no way.
I've spoken about this.
Yeah.
And I'll continue speaking about it. When you allow your oppressors to teach your kids, what are you allowing?
No, in essence,
Do you understand?
Yeah.
When I've always said
That's
the
tricky,
system,
dog.
the system is created to literally look. Now, as per se, we are a free country, and I'm gonna put this in inverted commas.
That's imali, mos.
I know.
Apparently,
but
we are
it does
free.
not play
But
here.
what are we really free from?
Yeah.
When we don't have economic emancipation,
Yeah.
we don't have land. So what are we free from? Yes,
Oh, yeah.
we're basically free to walk around
Yeah.
Political
wherever.
please.
We free to stay wherever, to go whichever. That's all we're free
So
from.
they just modified the oppression.
Hence, I always say the system. Basically, the system, you start mentally. Because once you break down someone mentally, literally
Yeah.
you have won. Because it then filters generation to generation. Because now, look at the black on black violence that's going on. More than us coming together and saying, look, we hold the power, we have the numbers, but we'd rather fight who? One another. For crumbs, whilst someone else has got the big pie, right? They're the minority, but they've got the big pie. But who's fighting for the crumbs?
Us,
It's
the people.
us. You understand? So the system was created in such a way that it carries on. We might not be we probably still are in a apartheid system, but just a modified
Modified one.
one, basically. Because even now, I've always asked this, where have you ever seen children of other colors doing internships?
Nope.
No.
Why? Why are internships subjected to our race?
But babheke the previously disadvantaged and to empower. the
How is it?
previously-
Mara, numbers-
but
numbers are not
must I say
communicating.
khuluma iqiniso, it's about I'm sure there was this thing which if your company ivula up my internship, you pay less tax and stuff. So to white people is a way
Or
of
evade tax.
exactly. So that's why they take the black community by it benefits them. It's not about you earning an experience or anything. Because even after that internship, chances are very slim that you will get that job.
My point exactly. And a stipend in the day and age we're living in right now, I think we just heard petrol might be going up by 2 rands again, so we
Ish.
might be
Oh.
paying.
It's almost
Hayi,
30
wena
rands a
petrol
litre.
We
yangiyenza.
might be paying 27 rands a liter. So
Yeah.
which means petrol is more expensive than the average minimum wage
Wage.
of a
Exactly.
so how then do we balance that whole system? Which means the poorer are getting poor. So for the rich, simply means it's business as usual.
That's the reason why the youth should be inspired, because everything is here.
You
Right?
see, I'm,
Everything. You just listed everything.
I'm
We
going to
have
go
no
back
re-
to you.
we have
what,
no reason.
What inspires you now when you don't even can afford a loaf of bread? Where do you draw the inspiration
When you are in,
from?
when you are inspired and you can afford, you won't get inspired. What am I saying? You won't be inspired when you can afford, my brother. There's no edge to fight anything when you can afford.
Comfortable.
Yeah, too comfortable.
So,
So-
I must
Now we have reason.
I must swim in poverty for me to
get
get
inspired.
inspiration.
Every
Is that
struggle,
what you're
every
saying?
unfortunately, that's the history of every struggle. The struggle of '76, it was not characterized by.
It goes back to my question: is why should the struggle continue? I think that
Well, the
thing.
Yes,
Luther-
and
yeah,
Luther
Yeah,
continue.
it's that
Continue.
thing that I'm against. It's if we keep saying let the struggle continue, we
So
are
hluphe
really living
kanjani?
the power of the tongue, guys. I mean, I'm a spiritual person, so if you're gonna confess the very same thing, you're gonna relive those moments. Because we keep saying let the struggle continue. Why are we not fighting for the struggle to,
To end. Yeah.
Again,
Eish,
I'll
that's a
I'll
very
always
good
go
point.
back to a system. The
The
system is designed
I know,
for
but-
the rich, poorer. Because right now, think of it in this way: if the struggle were to end, then who then is dependent on who? You understand? Somehow a system is created so that people like. I hate to say this, and please, these are my personal views. I hate social grants. I hate these grant things because
Yeah.
it creates a society of dependence.
Yeah, true.
You understand? Because I know, anyway, I'll get that. You understand?
Yeah,
So
government,
we
mango
then
mntwana
tend to
uzonginika igrant.
not think outside of those boundaries to say, okay, what can we do to empower ourselves so that we don't depend on these grants or whatever.
That's the
Like I was
intention.
asking myself,
Iqiniso.
what is 350? If you're gonna give
Cabanga.
someone
Imali
350,
yedatha leyo,
La
guys.
mantombazana angisebenza nawo lawa amajayivane bavula i-dance studio cabanga, so ngibatshela ukuthi no guys, registerani i-company and everything izophuma nayo yonke into and your tax, your bank account. Cabanga, yazi what was their question? Manje ama-350 wethu sisazowathola Joe,
you
Yeah,
see,
no,
like
that's
if
what
you are
they
about
co-
to
they
make
created,
1,000 a
futhi
week ukhalela
codependence.
i-350 a month yamahala
you see,
kanjani
you see what the
Joe
system
ingihethile
does.
ngibathethise blind Joe.
Do you see what the system does then? It creates
Cabanga i-question yabo abasathi hayi size nama-ID or ini babuza nje ukuthi manje
Ama-
ama-350 wethu wona sisazowathola ngithi asaphuma wona lawo ma-350
Bafethu, our generation has given up.
Hayi, Joe.
Things are going to
I
collapse and we're
don't necessarily think that they have given up, but it's for me, right? I feel that it's tiring to constantly fight something that is even sabotaged by your own people.
Eish.
You understand?
Yeah.
It's me on the ground. I'm fighting yet. Uput vusi lapha ekhoneni, still work with the white people to oppress me. You understand? It's just pointless. Not necessarily giving up. No one wants to just sit and do nothing. But it's the system itself, the way ingakhona ukuthi okay, for me to be able to penetrate amanye departments isn't I have to know somebody or keep my chonch. Where am I going to get that money? And then we blame abantu abagangayo at the end of the day.
And ebalambi
Akekho umuntu ofuna ukulala
Because for
ngendlala,
me-
mfethu.
you saying as government, you want to see small business enterprises thrive, but there's so much red tape around
Exactly.
getting the funding for those businesses.
Yep.
So then, how do those businesses then
And the
Then
level
thrive?
funding
That's
leyo
not the
iphethwe
solution.
abantu abethu.
So
the
we
very
can,
same
if
people.
we can identify that their formula to empowering us is not working, then we know 100% sure that thing is not the formula for us to succeed and be empowered. Because if they were empowering small businesses, it wouldn't be as difficult as it is to get funds and whatnot. So definitely, this thing should tell you something. Guys, Anna, there is no way we are going to boost the economy of the country and things go back to normal by empowering ourselves through BEE. Ayikho le nto leyo.
So when it's senze njani?
No, the state must empower people.
The state,
Proper, yeah.
Ah,
wait,
Khotwa,
It's
guys.
the state.
Photo.
Are you still
Khotwa.
talking about the state
Khotwa.
in
No,
this
no,
day and
the
age
current
where
one
the
is-
corruption
is-
is brewed and
Okay, that's another thing we need to talk about, because when we refer to the state, okay, at least me, I'm not talking about this thing, you know.
You're talking about
But
what?
what should happen? This state of ours has no
What-
interest in
which
young
state are you
people.
talking about?
The one in my head,
Ah, my
no,
God.
the one I'm moving towards, because
You
I'm
see,
definitely going to go
I
there.
needed to ask you this question
Yeah.
before you carry on. Who is the ruling party?
Yeah.
Who's the ruling party?
Yeah.
It's ANC.
Who is the ANC supposed to empower?
Blacks.
So where is the stamp? How many years are we into democracy?
How
The
many
so-called
now?
Democracy?
28. 28 years.
28 years.
Yeah.
Have we improved, or have we found ourselves in a worse state? than
But there
we
was
were
no
before?
interest. There was no interest, my brother.
it's a
So
question.
yeah, we are asking questions. We know the answers.
No,
There was
someone
no.
else. Might
No,
not
there's
know
no.
the
But
answer.
was there an interest? There was no interest
From who?
From
Like-
who?
from them. Those people who
So
who got the so-called liberation. So you said now, Guti, political freedom without economic emancipation is meaningless, right?
it's
So,
useless.
yeah. So don't they know that? Because I'm sure before them.
I'll ask you this again. Have we ever, as society, ever held our leaders accountable for anything?
I don't know how I must answer that question, but I myself, I play my part, guys. I hold them accountable, and my way of holding them accountable, I don't vote for them. You know my party of my affiliation.
So by
Because I
changing
know those
parties-
guys that I sent to parliament won't leave them.
Okay, so by,
You guys continue to vote for them, then you come here, we complain the whole day.
But don't you think every political party somewhere is doing the same thing?
Let's not vote for them. They wouldn't be in
personally said
power.
this. Personally, I've
Look,
said
Ane,
this.
look when
Politics and drug cartels are the same
what's
water
up-
same thing.
Exactly.
because everyone has got
Check
an
this
interest
out.
of some sort that they must
I-
enrich themselves
I
in.
think on Monday I'm not sure was it last week or Monday. The Pumama report to Mama Spal. Kureni got a clean audit.
Gajani.
It was a clean audit.
Gajani.
Kaya got
Kanjani.
Kureni manje. Second coalition governance. So Akseko easier.
But
Uthola
they've had
i-
this for the past couple of years.
Clean audit.
Aye,
Kureni
guys.
clean audit. No
Yes.
guys.
I'm telling you.
No, then I'll have to go to my research.
Can you please go research it?
Under the
It's not
governance
first
of
time.
Mzwandile Messina,
And it's
guys,
not
there
the
was no.
first time. It's not.
It's not
Under
the first time. I
Mzwandile.
think under Mzwandile they got twice or 3 times, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not the first
I stand to
time.
be corrected.
Aye,
They've
okay,
had
that's
a
fine.
clean
Then
audit.
we'll
But yeah,
continue.
And the
stand to be-
Uzi Uzi,
I
how-
stand to be corrected.
I just have 2 questions. for
Yeah.
you. Because you talked about freeing the mind, and once you have the mind of someone, that's how you have the control. How do you feel about like decolonization of the system? And if we're talking about days that should be celebrated, why can't we celebrate the days when the youth of decolonizing the system held like riots at universities, for that matter, fighting for the matters of now, fighting to fix what's happening now? Can't we celebrate a day like that? And yeah, exactly.
That won't be celebrated because it's against the oppressor.
And it's
Even
against the
the
system
one of
It's against
which
the system.
which they created to make sure that we are at a disadvantage.
Mara kushuthi nivumelana number fethu ke.
Do you see my problem with this whole system
When
is
are
that
you?
goalposts are always shifted for the black child.
Uh-huh.
They said go study, go get a degree, you'll get a job, right? Black children went and gone and did that. Got degrees, got masters, got everything. Guess what? Said no, I want five years experience. Where are you gonna get the 5 years experience from?
Yeah.
You see? Then when you get that 5 years experience, then they say, no, you are overqualified. I can't afford you.
Exactly.
So basically, the goalposts are always shifted for the black child because the system can see, good, okay, now they are on par, or if not better. And now we can't have them at the forefront. I've got a problem, Guti, even now, right? 28 years, or how many years into
28.
democracy? How many young people hold ministerial positions? How do we expect Namakehla Nizalgwazi to fight for us? They've got nothing to fight for, but to think for themselves and, their grandchildren.
and the other thing
Ukuthi-
that is annoying again is that even those young people who are in the government.
Or in this, yes.
Badla bodwa, they have this sort of mentality of yathi ngifake impintshi yami, or
Or if
they
I
just
want
or
something.
baba ama gatekeepers.
Yes.
Ukuthi no, it depends ukuthi wazibani before we
Every
can give
industry
you
has
such and such.
So mara siyavumelana
What we've
ukuthi
spoken
the
about
problem.
the other time.
There's nothing to celebrate for June 16. The
No.
only thing we
we
agree
we
on
agreeing with it. We need
let's-
to decolonize
Exactly.
our minds, and we need to start taking those fees must fall movement seriously
Yeah.
and growing them to say ukuthi, we were promised free education in 1994. What happened? The Freedom Charter speaks of that. What happened to that? Our healthcare system is about to collapse in this very country, and
Bruh,
we,
hospitals don't have medication.
It's
Clinics
about to
don't have
collapse.
And
medication.
as far as the economy, like, the last question I'll have for you is, do you think we're going to be junk status? Because the Reserve Bank is considering making a 500 rand note and turning the 10
no,
into a coin.
I read some article with the report the Reserve Bank.
False news.
It's false news. They said it doesn't make sense. Look, right now we're on the verge of collapse of everything in this country. Literally, we're on the verge of collapsing of everything because cost of living has just skyrocketed. You must remember when the petrol price goes up, it affects every single thing. And petrol price going up means everything goes up besides people's salaries. So your salary is still sitting where it's sitting, but everything
everything
else
is going
has
up.
skyrocketed.
So how are we gonna
So
afford
meaning
it?
there was some report which was published by the banks to say good guys earning in the bracket between 15 and 45,000 salaries is finished within 3 days.
Yeah.
So you can imagine. So if you're earning between 15 and 45,000, your salary is finished within 3 days. That's that bracket. So if you're earning less than that, it means what exactly?
Poor.
Besides poor, it
so
means
colossal
You are
literally.
poor.
You also call us a monk. That's what
You
it means.
understand?
Yeah.
We are
So
mean
that's
that.
my biggest issue in June 16.
Lapho vele urely ku-credit
I
record.
I didn't even entertain that day
Yeah,
because
like
for
that,
me
you know.
it's fruitful. I know purpose
Yeah.
because yes, people died on that day, but they knew what they were fighting for.
Eish.
Right now, what are we fighting for?
Yeah, no, let me
Youth
And
just.
who are we
As youth
fighting?
Edala.
Yeah.
Who are we
You
fighting?
don't know, you don't know our enemy yet.
Exactly. We
Because
don't.
Okay.
we fighting
But you
amongst
see,
ourselves.
but it's fine. I would understand.
So what do you think
I
about
would-
the representation of youth in parliament?
I'm well
Wait,
represented.
who's
When?
representing the
because
youth
of
there?
EFF.
Me, I'm well represented.
When ungakhulumela as
Kunentanga ya-
affiliation,
kunentanga
phela
ya-
manje
or
sikhulumela
general,
as a country.
general.
Yeah, as a country youth, you can't.
No, it's
Phela
pretty
you
much
know, EFF
obvious.
is a minority. Let's not
Yeah,
forget
minority.
Yeah, Marine
Yeah.
influence, guys.
It's fine,
Ah,
but
much
minority.
You know?
Now we're
And
talking
the-
about
And then when
Majority.
ungakhulumela
Majority.
affiliation,
Yeah, and my solution into dealing with this majority, is toxic majority that is putting us in a dire situation, is to vote otherwise. And most preferably,
So when
you must vote EFF.
for that
I'm not
the youth
campaigning.
must be well represented. Well, let's vote the EFF.
No,
Ngikhuluma
youth is
nge-representation,
not
man.
voting Pumba.
Yeah,
Before,
vele.
before we go
Do
anywhere,
you
and
blame the youth?
Why,
Yes.
why should they
Heaven.
vote? Why should they vote?
Do you
we
blame the
chose
youth?
democracy because democracy was the most sensible thing to do. So the problem is that the only way that the state can account is through a democratic means. We can't now just wake up and say, no, we're overthrowing the system. Now we're
But how is the
anarchy.
state going to account, first of all?
Guys,
Because
don't vote for these people. You see how easy it is.
sis,
Don't give them your vote. And you are sitting at home.
I'll go back to this cartel. So I
Exactly.
shift from this cartel
yeah,
this
moving
cartel.
from
And this
Pablo
cartel,
Escobar to Bano Muni.
So la
this
bantu abana-
cartel
No.
will do.
And until now, we've only
something
experienced one black government, one. But we're talking as if we experienced 50. So much that we know when it's moving from Pumba to Khoto.
What I love
Khoto is west.
about
Then we are
this-
moving to
this
Kuku.
one
guys.
government that we've
One-
experienced. The very same opposition leader was part of that government.
But why was he moved? You
Exactly.
see,
No,
if you are going
He
to bring
was
that in,
not
He was
moved.
fired.
No, Nina,
He was
senikhuluma
fired.
ngabantu.
It's fine.
Senior campaign.
No,
Yeah, I
as
say-
campaign.
it appears
As
as well
campaign.
company party.
That's why we didn't mention
You
names.
must not throw,
But we will just say,
yeah, cheap shots, because
how is the cheap
it's
shot?
a cheap shot too
How?
much. Because when you are going to
How?
look into what
Wait,
happened,
Mina, my thing is,
How is
the
that
very
cheap shot?
same other leader was accused of the very same leader's aba-accuse kuyo.
Did he not go to court?
Didn't
for-
exactly.
For
He's still in court now.
Wait,
And
my
he's in
other
court
question
saying-
is, who is he funded by?
By who? What do you mean?
Hi, guys.
Guys, no, it's
Politics
fine.
is a shit show, guys.
Unfortunately, I
When
can't.
say
I
politics
can't.
is a dirty game.
Yeah.
Politics is the same as drug cartels.
I know-
stand by
I
that
know a
word.
lot of people don't have time to listen to anyone that's affiliated to politics, right? I know, because that's what I'm saying. We've given up. We act as if there's a.
We are not
there's
giving
there's-
up. They
no,
are the
it's-
same
we are
thing.
giving up.
Bafana
You
laba,
can't have
guys.
we can't have white people 95 to 98% of them on the day of elections going there to vote, and then the black people are sitting there, and it is the very same black people that are continuously facing challenges. Those white people they're making sure they're closing their ranks because they understand properly that the only way to preserve this privilege they have is through democratic means. So Nina, ni relaxing, you just want to complain. Some miraculous way things will
you
be okay.
can't say people are
get your
relaxing
point.
when
What is
people
happening,
has
Kuku?
been
Then-
fighting.
So,
And they were
wena into
ignored.
oyibhilivelayo ukuthi
And there are
wena
things that are
uzifika
not
kahle
changing
nokwenza.
in the society
It's
because the
incredible,
leaders
Kuku.
are corrupt. There's
Remove
no
this
better
corrupt
lead-
thing.
We've been removing leaders,
We didn't
guys.
remove
See,
anything.
guys, we've been removing leaders. We've been, and it's the same story. Same
I
story.
Our Ramaphosa naye waphalaphala
Kumba.
what ma 60
Let
billion,
me
what?
just close on this one of June 16.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm saying to you, you must just look at the pattern of our elections. I predict that 2024 we might engage in a coalition governance national-wise. And should things move to coalition, I can almost guarantee you that the economy will gain stability again. Because when you have power, guys, you must understand, these people have power. Like, look what Ramaphosa did just now, ne? It's like last year.
Zondo, what?
No, not before Zondo. He did something very strategic and people did not realize. This money of state security, the Auditor General does not have access to that money. It's billions. He closed that money into the presidential office. So that means that guy has access to billions, unaccountable. No one can ask how much is there because it's intelligence, Musa. It's part of intelligence. So we can't tell you that we're spending 5 million on protecting camera. It's intelligence. Yeah. So they pushed it inside the presidential office so that no one doesn't know. So who's there? Those cadres who are there, they are going to ensure Guti that guy comes back to. They are going to use those resources. So those resources are going to work even in party politics. So when you make coalition governance, those people don't have access to such things anymore. So the economy will tend to improve. So I'm
I
saying
will
in
reserve my
closing,
comments on
let's
Ramaphosa.
let's not give up. We are going to watch this country fall in
Yes,
our
sir.
eyes. It will fall, and white people won't fall. It will be just us. So there won't be chillers. There won't be podcasts.
Those white
it won't be
people,
here.
they
You
are-
understand?
you
It's
have a
serious.
petty
This
country,
thing, guys. It's extremely serious. If we are going to pay 27 rand petrol, kusho ukuthi kusuka la eThema ukuza la is 20 rand. So for him, it's going to be practically impossible to attend. So that's how deep we must analyze this situation. When there's a toxic boyfriend mooring you or a girlfriend mooring you, don't negotiate. Go.
Abona
easy.
You
So if I
can't.
can
Angeke
talk,
uzifanise
Ikhiphe noma
nomjovo.
singayenzana
Let's
emtsholweni akunakuthi umuntu now yabona into gender based violence increase ngoba intombazane ya understand. U-understandani umuntu akabuse. Hamba. It's not love this thing. It's not yabona mama khoma kakushane ne boyfriend ekshaya izinto ezithu ezingafani lezo. Two different things.
I will go back.
Yeah.
Just to
So I'm just
sum this
saying,
up.
guys.
Oh yeah, just to close it.
Politics, drug cartels,
Are the same thing.
one and the same thing.
Lapho
fine.
we
So
agree
you're gonna move from one monster
to
to another.
another monster.
Yeah.
We'll promise you heaven and earth. You will move mountains,
Yeah,
and when
guys.
they get in there, suddenly
Nice.
there's an excuse why I can't move that mountain.
Exactly.
But I say to you, I will move that mountain.
But it's fine.
what-
One day
what-
we'll have
what I'm
a
saying
poli-
is-
a po- yeah, a po- a podcast for politics.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when we have that one, I don't think it would be wise to bring the politics. I don't know. You will plan this thing better. But
Sibena
it's
nama-
always interesting to have
political
people
Can
who
I-
are outside politics to make reviews.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
but it's important. We must just through that analysis of why are white people, even when they are sick, they make sure. Us, we register and say, yeah sifuna ukubafilisa ukuthi mabasipromise ukuthi sonika umsebenzi siregister bese asiyi ngathi uyenza isquinch bese 9 million young people abavote.
I just think it's the whole
You just don't
political
believe in the
system.
voting system.
Which system do you believe? Give us an alternative. We are ready.
There's
Do you
no
want to
system
do you
believe in.
want
You need
to
start another one,
overthrow
first
it?
of all. Mina, I think Uguti, this whole political system in South Africa is just staged. They know Uguti, there won't be another ruling party except for the other. And it's just we are just pawns in this game. Kahle kahle, thina kudlalwa ngathi, for them to even get what they want. Guys, in South Africa, we know that our president is a puppet of white people. The first thing I'm gonna keep
Joshua,
repeating,
one day
I'll
la kule
repeat this
podcast,
every time
akasophatala
sikhuluma ngoRamaphosa. The first time Ramaphosa made his presidential speech, he said, Yakumbula, he was late. He said, I was still consulting with my bosses. That should tell you, first of all, we are not in any way, shape, or form ever gonna be in charge of whatever that is happening.
Yeah.
Singalwa silwe thathu malema sifake laws. We are
Put
just
him.
Aye,
Test.
guys,
try.
come on.
What I'm
Aye.
saying, Pumba, if we
Umalema,
want,
it just makes good noise.
no, I'm just saying, me.
That's it.
If we want, we don't believe in this democratic system.
Let's
We
come
want to
up with another
overthrow. Even there, white
Let's
people are leading
overthrow the
because
whole
I can tell
governance,
you
first
now,
of all.
there is no white family here in South Africa that does not own a gun. It's a culture of white people to own guns. Tina Lai Lokshin, we don't have guns.
We are not violent people. though.
Yeah, so which method are you going to use? These people are ahead. They are ready. They shoot running Springboks.
Maybe that's where we need to change
they shoot
it.
running
They
Springboks.
expect us to fight the
Well, now you
kind of
can't
fights
shoot
that
to
they are fighting. We
stationary
need to
things.
fight the mental fights that we need to
Lastly,
win.
do you think guys kuzofika la vele kune civil war? Silwa
Ah,
Angeke
it's
sabe
not going
khona
there.
civil war. Thina bashaye ngomqondo.
It's not going there.
Silimele.
Blind.
There
I-
could be
Okay.
threats, but it's
all
not
I can say
going there.
is what happened last year
Yeah,
with the looting and all of that.
that's gonna happen more often.
I think sooner or later, this country is a ticking time bomb. I think we can
azophinda ama-looting sprees.
watch with
Yeah.
the way everything is going
Civil
right
unrest.
now. Civil unrest is something that's likely to happen.
Me, I am for
Because
civil
right now-
unrest. They must just ban these
Ah,
things.
yeah.
Because right now,
For kanjani?
right now,
Madoda, hayi.
how are you expecting poor people to survive?
Guys,
How are you expecting people to survive?
you know this freestyle is becoming more of a topic
Okay,
because
open Ntantla Lux, guys. What
it's
happened?
there by
to-
Tutuza now actual.
Wenzani
By kune operation Tutula. Man just speaks then
so
Tutuza. Yeah, I saw it in the
Why
movie.
angayodudula lapha ephalaphala? Because clearly we
Yeah.
have a serious issue in this country in the
So-
phalaphala.
Okay, yini enye
farm.
nikhulume ngayo?
So I
Ntantla-
was just saying,
There's an auction today.
Mina ngithi ngifuna
Yeah,
uNhlanhla Lux. Angisho yini uyadudula.
and they said
Ufuna
abathatha
ukuthi
cash
ayodudula.
epalapala. Clearly, poor Ramaphosa
How
was
many black
misleading
people
us.
There's no black
So,
person.
There's a
people
few
there.
black people.
Bakwazi.
That
Yeah,
they are
no,
taking
Google,
that.
but
Awumthandi uNhlanhla Lux?
uNhlanhla Lux is a decoy ngizoyiphinda lento le every now and again. Akahamba ayodudula in the more serious places la sifuna ududule khona.
You won't go
Ahlukane
there.
nabantu on the ground. Le
Uthi yena
crime le-
usebenza on the ground.
Hayi
Akuna
baba,
ground,
you can't
akayazi
control
ground.
the crowd. Mawufuna
Ama drugs,
ukubulala
you know the ground.
inyoka,
Do you
We are
think-
ushaye
products of the
ekhanda.
ground
Do you think
ourselves.
ama drugs are manufacturer like look?
Exactly.
Drugs are not manufactured.
They are Russian people
guy-
abahlala kule country banganama papers, but they are driving Lamborghinis and owning estates.
Yeah, and himself.
Wena uzohlala la uzositsho ukuthi uyadudula. Dudula the
What
serious
does he do
people.
for a living, guys? I don't know.
He
He used,
sponsored
he used,
the-
he used to
uyafana
be a pilot. I don't know.
But you chairperson
Because
of-
I know it drives a
and he was raised
That
by
guy-
white people.
McLaren.
That guy
Yeah,
used to be a,
he-
a,
he-
pi- a
Well,
pilot.
McLaren,
Yeah,
Une
we
mali,
not
une-
Ramaphosa bayafana. They were groomed by white people, so there's
I know
nothing
he drives
so
a McLaren.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
all I know is that
But
he
that's
used to be a
not
pilot.
true.
No, I'm not saying. It's like you coming to poor people,
Exactly.
dressed in Balenciaga, Dior, and whatnot, and saying to poor people, guys, we must fight, we must do whatnot. That time you are wearing in excess of 100,000. Lapha kunomntana ongananecathulo esikolweni. Mara the child must go and fight.
Eish,
You
even that one
understand?
I disagree with me, but I'll allow you to finish your point.
Okay.
No, it's not politics
No, no,
necessarily
no, but
because
it's an example
I
that I'm
think-
just making.
yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Your example, you are not wrong, my brother. So it appears as if like it's a class suicide. You are
It's like
fighting for.
spitting in the eyes of the poor
Yeah.
people.
But again, the poor people are not in a position where they can identify what the situation we are in is a situation we need to get out from. That's why instead of getting less poor people, we get more.
Because the system is created in such a way.
Yeah, so the people who are going to liberate them are not people who are coming from the very same circle. It must be someone who is outside, who has an outside view. Good, hey, guys, there are things called gushies outside that living of yours. Come out. So if we are going to look at them from that perspective, what are they using us?
Nah, I
it's going to be a
disagree,
problem.
man. I disagree. People who are poor, they are aware of what's happening around them. They just don't have the means to get to that life, which is the reason, again, the system, it made it that way. For you to have a bank balance stable, maybe keep it John, tangy tender, know somebody somewhere and get your money right, or it's either taking some drugs.
Yeah.
There's no
Do
other
something
way.
wrong.
Look at how,
Like-
how cuffed up our situation is in this country. You've got Dane Firm, right? You've got Deep Slot. Literally across one another.
Exactly.
Like literally. You've got Gomorrah. You've got Santon.
Santon.
Right across one another. You understand?
Yeah, I know. Guzwa.
So
the
do you
plight
think
of
ukuthi
our
abantu
country.
poor they don't see ukuthi there's a better life ahead?
If they saw,
Uh-uh.
saw. No, I'm sure you anguza kuku. Ngitshela
Okay,
answer yami,
sorry,
it's my
excuse-
opinion. If
Sorry.
they saw properly, then Gomorrah would long time gone. Just because you see something, it
Okay,
doesn't mean you are going to want to fight it. They are going to make Gomorrah senti. You know, let me tell you.
very strange,
It's let me tell you
Yeah.
something.
Ijeri-
Ane.
Ijeri
Emakhayeni,
is fine.
emadladleni, la ngibuya khona
Not
ngibuya
banana.
eLimpopo ne.
It's hlala Santon.
Oh, we are not doing that.
No, I'm just saying.
Mina understand.
Uthini futhi angizwanga kahle.
I'm sure they
Oh
can
my
see.
God.
I'm sure you can see the differences.
Uthi
Oh.
Gomorrah
Within
ithi
their
ihlale
own
sentini.
rights, they are that's what
100% correct.
Aye, man.
Exactly.
Because, you know, postal address, postal code is
It's
what
Santon.
Santon. Yes.
Yeah,
So you
they're
understand?
correct.
I would have born. It's the very same people who flocks or who floods Santon City.
Guys, these people don't see anything.
Aye.
That's why I mean I need to go Pumba. I'm sorry to say this if it's a tarnish image here podcast. I am for this civil. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's my views and it's my
Yes,
personal
yes,
opinion,
it's
and I have a right
we
to
all
Yeah.
talk
actually expand on
personal-
them.
Yeah.
Personal views.
I
here.
am for-
nothing in,
Yeah.
in cast.
Yes.
In concrete.
Yeah.
This civil unrest, I am for them. Why? Working at the mall, how does it contribute to the township economy? Because those people working there, I'm sure I don't know.
Yeah, but
Over
bayingela-
90% of them
bayingakho abantu
can't even
abadlayo.
buy a car or take a loan.
Khohlwa ikhaya.
No, but
Mara
being
bayadla
Pumba, you must.
abantwana.
Yabona eyokudla ne? Eyokudla. Ngicabanga ukuthi singayisolve.
imisebenzi engakhi
I think there is where I agree with you. It's the same thing that I was complaining about when we were going through the looting phase.
Ay, 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 ay.
People were like, "Yeah, you
Basuwa.
can't destroy our malls." I'm like, well, how is the mall benefiting the people?
For
Akuseyakho.
starters, the mall will make, let's say, this is an example, will make 20 million a month. Of the 20 million, not even 5%
Is
goes
like
Goes
that.
to the community.
Yes.
or goes to the workers.
They are not for
90%
us.
of that money
They will
leaves
They'll
the
never be
location.
for us. These
And the
people,
people who've invested in that mall will get bulk of that profit.
I said that during the looting. Someone said to me, "I don't understand the supply chain." I'm like, "I care about it. Nothing is benefiting umuntu nje
Yes, you're
laphaya."
creating employment. Fine.
That's it.
Granted.
there's no mall that will operate without people. So question of employment must be out of the scene. Out,
you.
out.
Because without
Not a
people-
question. We are not
Nah.
entertaining that thing of people are working.
Because
Empowerment,
without,
Papa.
without me,
Yes.
that mall will not operate.
Those malls are
Food
not.
is dead.
Thank you.
Kabanga equal neighboring schools don't have feeding scheme. The children go hungry just in front of a mall. We want to protect that thing for
How
in.
many, how
For
many
what?
schools are they sponsoring?
Nothing.
They-
How-
they-
What are we protecting?
Now
Exactly.
we're
episode
engaging.
lengathi your trend
Like now we're engaging in
Aye,
something which
yeah,
I
yeah,
actually
yeah,
feel.
yeah.
Yes.
And I
Bafethu
understand
angikwazi
what
mara
you're
ukusho
saying.
kanje.
Yeah.
No,
No,
Mara
no,
bayingakho
wait a
abantu
minute.
abazoluza
Wait.
imisebenzi.
No,
No,
but with
no,
the-
whoa, wait,
Take
long
take away,
seven, can
take
that
away the
job,
people who
who works at the, my other question is, with that very same job, are you able to buy a house?
No.
Are you able to take your child to multiracial school?
No.
What do you do with that salary? Ngoba isalary
Hand
yakhona
to
it's a
mouth.
hand to mouth.
Yeah.
Leyo mali
It's
le-
something.
wait,
It's
leyo
something.
mali.
Online,
Abana
The
ne-staff
other
price.
thing,
Abana
ne-staff
the other
price.
thing is, no, iyangiyanyisa nami. The very same salary that oyiholayo, you're gonna
Acho.
take it back to that fucking mall.
We are protecting
excuse
people
the
who are
language.
exploiting black
You are
people
taking
there.
it back to the
How much?
mall.
Okay,
Wacha.
like for instance, how much are people getting paid at Shoprite?
Exactly.
Khohle indaba
dog.
ye-payment ama-contracts
They don't
e-shoprite
even earn over
those people are not
5K
permanent so
or
ungathola
6.
kune-staff sabantu abayi-200 ane bese less than 20 is permanent the rest contract ukuthi vele moshothi
Exactly.
sithuba uplaphane ku-counter
Out.
yini
Get
zona
another
lezo
person.
So
Because I know-
uyasebenza
Zona
ngapha
lezo ngabe-
uqushiwe.
And
Ah,
the
yeah.
shitty part about all of this is that I know ukuthi so many people are unemployed.
Yeah.
So,
So
to
it's
find a
easy to get rid
replacement
of you.
is very easy.
So are you saying abantu bethu baya-abuse ona kuzo
being-
lezi-
Abuse.
It's
Abuse.
big.
Exploitation.
It's what I'm
There
saying.
is
ukuthi
exploitation at its
The
highest
oppression
level.
has been modified.
ifihlwe ngo-employment.
Yes.
My
Yes.
point exactly.
Eish, guys.
yes so
My
an
point
upraising is due as in like yesterday that
So you
spirit
agree, Masisi, currently there's nothing to celebrate in youth.
no I'm saying I'm celebrating that spirit
Yes, we
what's-
understand the spirit. It's what
I'm
we
talking
need.
about the spirit because
we need the spirit, but currently there's nothing to celebrate. on the youth
and
day.
nakuku I will say it maybe in my language there's nothing to it was not a day meant for us to celebrate guys
Uzubone with the way i-system yethu
how
iwudoti ngakhona. People were shot at in Marikana
Hey.
for fighting for what?
And the very same person
12.5.
was taken and made a president.
president
Who? Like the minerals of this country are the very same people who are fighting to say, Ebafowethu, anisikaye noma yintonyana nje.
12.5 is not money even
Sure.
then
For-
when
for
was it
people-
2012 ane?
Yeah,
it was not
okay.
money then
For people who go underground to go mine the very same minerals of this country, and you come back and you say to them, Ana 12.5.
and even kill them
So
the widows of Marikana
are we
are
free?
still don't
I
have
still- I
homes
will always
today
ask, are we really free?
it's problems the children of the guys who died in Marikana can't afford to go to school it's a crisis this thing and it will all boil down because the system at hand to remove these guys until we come up with an alternative system guys we must vote them out don't sit at home I'm not saying vote them
I
out
fear that the ANC government might be worse than the previous government.
Exactly.
He said a lot of stuff, and I wouldn't want to be associated with a lot of stuff that he said because of it might be incitement. But he does have one point, like voting for it is the only way to change it. Because you were talking about people seeing like Stanton, Gomorrah, all of that. You see when it starts happening in their spaces, like you see in Cape Town when it started happening, because they threw people out of buildings because they weren't allowed to be in the building, and they built shacks in those high income areas. When it started being seen by them like that, that's when they really started getting riled up and started voting for these parties of theirs. There's even a new party in Cape Town that wants to make the whole Western Cape its own country on its own. And it's actually getting voted. Like these people are winning. When they start seeing
They
those
want to
kind
be
of
a free
things,
state, like
when
a
it's
state on their own.
uncomfortable to them, they actually do go and vote. And if you don't outvote people like that, then you know what it's going to
Okay, Mina, my other issue about voting, right? I think the fighting for it, I'm for that. Fight for it. Show them that you are fighting for it. But the voting, my question is, our grandmothers, mothers, fathers, they've been voting, but it only gets worse. You understand? So I'm not for voting. I am for get out the house and go fight it. That I'm for, not the voting. Yeah, as I was saying, you know about Ushwiti, the spirit of that day. That's what I celebrate. Let us, for once, stop being internet politicians, and let us, for once, stop talking and complaining towards each other. Let's get the fuck out of our houses and then go fight them. That's it's the same thing that you were saying. Sorry, Mauti, they actually went and fought, and it was then visible that that's what we need to do, not voting.
no we must vote
But
I'm
all
not
of these
for
things were
voting.
created to be a distraction to you. So that that's why whenever there's a crisis or something happening, there'll be another story. You'll all flock to Twitter. You'll all become keyboard warriors and whatnot and whatnot. Next day, there's something else you've forgotten about the previous.
Exactly.
The beauty of back in the day was there was no
internet.
There was no internet. So it was
So
easier
internet
for-
is a problem.
It makes people comfortable
It's a big
because the
distractment
media
because-
gives you what you want to hear.
and now people
Propaganda.
have stopped trying to find out what exactly is happening. So everything you hear, you want to believe. You understand? And that's the power of the media, is that they'll scare you into whatever, and then that's it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So nje, are we wrapping it
Yeah.
up?
we
for
can
9
still
months.
continue.
9 months.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
so there's no need to
don't-
go.
enye into yokugcina bengifuna sikhulume ngayo ukhuthi ngiyazi ukhuthi i-sportsman i-statement saka bani this coach Hugo Ross bani what do you
Look,
think about what he said?
Look, for me, my
Utheni?
biggest issue
utheni ukhale ngokuthi ibhola lethu li-weak kakhulu.
Oh no, coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
you see, my biggest issue with that whole statement, and I'm standing on Steve Compel.
Okay.
It's a nation. You don't address a nation ngathi ukhuluma nama-auto akho nihleli kasisi ubani bani, whatnot.
Yeah.
Firstly, the job was advertised.
Mhm.
Ne? And you were told of a mandate. You were given a mandate. So you had a choice to say,
Yeah,
I
yes.
can't take this job because
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
But because of the monetary side of it, you felt, let me do this.
Yeah.
So when you then get onto that hot seat, you then find out, shit, it's
Yeah,
hot in here.
Yeah.
Now I must find a way to get out of this. Then that's when because why were these issues not raised in the negotiation table
Yeah.
to say, okay, I've got a problem.
Yeah. It's
The
him
state
and
of
so-
your league, shit. There's no development. There's no. You could have raised all of those issues before taking the job. So why do you then take the job first?
And
Then
come and complain
after
later.
disastrous couple of
Results.
games, then you come back and then want to tell us. Not like we don't know that our state
Football
of
is-
football
okay, yeah.
is in tatters. We don't have any
Sikuqashele vele sazi ukuthi vele
Certain
siyagawa
teams,
sele.
certain teams do have development, but the problem then gets stuck in the admin side of SAFA, because there's a huge problem with the admin of, and it's actually a problem. Yeah, mind. It's been an
It's been-
ongoing issue for many years, because the question has been asked, with why are our ex-footballers not involved
Yeah.
in the admin of, because they know of the problems that were there.
Yeah.
Ghana, ex-players,
Footballer,
Zambia,
And they're doing well.
Liberia, Cameroon. Samuel Eto'o is the president of Cameroon.
Yeah.
He would
President of Cameroon football.
yes,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
would. Kalusha Palo was president of the Zambia, because you are in a better state.
Yeah, udlalile,
you
uyibonile
know
into
the
e-wrong,
problems
yeah.
that players face, especially when it comes to when players need to be released for international duty, when players then start not wanting
Play.
to honor their collapse and all of that. Danny Jordan has never played football, as I understand.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think he's ever played football. I don't think he'd understand the administration
Yeah.
of football.
Yeah.
These two guys, they've been at it forever. So they understand, but obviously now at some point they need to let go of that power and bring in fresh new ideas, because you can't run same machine for over and over,
and over,
thinking
yeah.
it's going to give you better results.
Yeah.
So that's where now the problem is at currently. Is that SAFA, over the years, it's just people change positions, but nothing really happens on the ground.
Okay.
Why
Now,
don't we
Nyakuzwa-
have school sports anymore?
Yeah, Nyakuzwa, but what do you think about the actual things he raised?
His
the coach?
statement is 100% correct.
Yeah.
My problem, though, is you address it only because now it's hot where you,
You
are
can,
at.
you
Yeah.
can.
Kumele aqale ngayo leso
My
statement. Because
issue,
uyakho complain ngisho ukuthi abo Pirates ne Sundowns bafuna ukurelease ama
ukurelease ama-player.
player babayisa kuma COVID test just a day before ama national what.
Yeah.
So automatically ama regulations they can't go. So he's a guy who complains vele. Yena he
He's
has a
not
big
coming
mouth.
up with solutions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yena is this lang ngiyavumelana straight. He can't complain mayisakadliwo. Bekumela complain asasa ukuthi okay na situation zobhekana nayo. Angazositshela ukuthi khana bona manje ukuthi ibhola lethu li-operate ama politicians le. Ubitso ushelile ukuthi uqoshwe yi taxi owner Umfundisi, the politician. Hey, Ubizu said I lost my job because of a taxi owner, a pastor, and a politician. Those are the people who have influence. Yeah.
So,
So this is Mepumele.
exactly.
Exactly.
It filters down. Because now, my issue with this statement is, so you how long has he been here?
Uban.
This guy.
Coach.
That's less than a year.
Is it less than a year?
Yeah, gonna year.
Fine. And I asked this question: where has this guy ever? Where?
Ama results
irresolute
wakathini, yeah.
Like I've got a problem even with the hiring process, yes, Afa.
Yeah.
You go and fetch these guys that we don't even know
We don't
of,
know them.
and then you come and force feed us this nonsense,
Mr. Vice
and you
President.
expect us to
Balokhu bakhona
suddenly
boPeni.
rally.
Why bangathatha uPeni
Yeah,
bambuze?
bam-
No,
Mthatha.
the reason you won't take Penny, Penny will challenge you.
Yeah, ubuyazi uPeni.
Penny will challenge you, as in terms of the game. I think he's got his license,
Yeah.
and will challenge you in terms of monetary side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So he'll challenge you on both sides.
Eish,
Look,
angeke ungitshele nini.
I was actually surprised to notice ukuthi Lucas Radebe is actually celebrated on the other side.
Yeah, England.
Lucas has got a
Very.
stand name.
Newcastle.
Leeds.
Very much.
At Leeds. Leeds
Very
United.
much.
What? He
He's
even had a
big.
beer.
He's
Yeah.
big there.
He's called, I think they call him Chief.
Yeah.
He's called Chief. Even now, start of the season, when they won the promotion to the EPL, he was actually called. He was in England.
He's a
His
legend.
son.
Where?
Oh.
During his time.
And
the
then
guys
We
are-
are going to learn about
Sisi
those things.
Mkhosi
Meseka
ngapha.
Shonile. Meseka Shonile.
You know why?
Kan bazositshela.
And it's
we've
in
got
a
a
last
disease.
season.
Eh.
In this country, we've got a disease of giving people their flowers when they're gone. Whilst when people are here, we can't celebrate them. Why don't we celebrate Abu Penny right now?
Exactly.
Why?
Yeah.
Why,
Why
man?
don't we give him his flowers now?
Ah, yinja.
And
When
then the
it is
most
so-
trending ones, the ones who fell off. Bama drugs,
Exactly.
Yeah.
broke
That
and
nonsense.
shit.
Lerato Shabang. Basingisa ithombe
Armchair.
zabo bata kwamapiya.
Yeah.
Why are we publishing the maras abantu abamnyama sometimes azokubhora?
No,
Nomuntu uyambona
It's
ukuthi
one
situation
in-
ekuyo.
Ayikho umtshotsho.
Mara uyamshoot uyampublisha.
Uyachaza
Senzeni?
shoot le.
Sihleke or senzeni? Yini lento oyenzayo? Nomuntu wamlande eTavern ne? Makazobuyela kuSwalosi uLerato Shabang. Okay, uGolden Igesin. Ubuke umlande lokushini straight kuyo le situation yakhe ukuthi beka alcoholic. Straight wambuyisela egroundini.
Yeah,
No photos, nothing.
Yeah.
because
No
God
post, no
believed
thing.
in the
Eh.
ability of the boy.
Some bloody full text pictures akakuncedi nganiksi uyento yenza uyapost.
You see why I
Yeah.
say the social media is a direct.
I guess it's what we were talking about again last week. We would see the numbers. And we would see how we earn those numbers, we don't care. As long as I got the following,
Likes.
it's the
But not
numbers.
And what do we impart after that? Because if even now
Hate and
the
negativity.
influencers and whatnot, if you had to sit them down here, just to influence the youth on something that they can take with, how many of them would actually have content? Tangible content that you can sit down. There's a lady who was something in Da.
Yeah.
I listened to a clip of hers on Facebook. She puts it down as it is, but she won't trend. You know why? Because she speaks of something that affects the youth. But we don't care. And, you know, we want the stuff that
Yeah, we want the best
the
side
trending
of it.
shit of
Yeah.
what's
And
going
intense
on,
thing is
whatnot.
easy.
Young John.
So
Yeah.
now I've
Which
always
one
had a
man?
solution for that thing, but it's very brutal. Every time I talk about it, maybe so yenza next time. Yabona issue yokulungisa society yethu. Mele iye la society yonke iyakhona. So ikolo, ekolweni abo teacher bethu, my brothers and sisters, bayaphetha. Baphetha blind. So if bona bangaba woke, babe proper, babe
Abothisha phela manje into.
And
Yeah.
again,
phela mara noma kungintanga yakho, why mina ngintanga
Yeah,
sengiyang
yeah.
mara ingqondo yami ivulekile
So-
lenhloko.
Shoot nabo mele bangabe bawo.
Bekumele exactly bekumele ngabe bawoke into
what she's trying to
abayenzayo.
say is-
Batshela abantwana ukuthi mina end of the month imali yami ingene iphelele. Yinzona lezo. Umuntu
Exactly.
ixasi lonke liyafailwa mara uthola isalary yakhe iphelele. Angiyaziquestion izinto ezinjalo chief. Because ku business Pumba. I'm sure uyayazi lento le. Anyeke uzohola imali oyiholayo if awuperformi baba.
Sure.
And you get incentive
Yeah.
if you are perform.
Yeah.
So i-system yethu towards educators because they create society in essence. It must be that approach ukuthi should these people fail?
Mele bangaholi.
Yes. And should they pass properly ngama 88 madala you get an incentive.
Yeah.
So there must be a push for
Uhola
ukupasa.
ngama results
And
wabo.
yabona mesingaya ngaleyo approach ne izoyenza ukuthi as an educator you don't enforce the curriculum, because you'd have to understand ukuthi mele ngifundise umuntu o comfortable nami as a person. So mele nikhulume ngezinye izinto outside the curriculum. Actually, i-strike sama 1976 might have, I don't know, but I believe that it might have started from within the classes ngama educators mabakhuluma nabo. Nayibona lento yini, nayibona lento. So outside algebra, outside leyo geometry, what bebakhulunywa ngale zinto guys. Yeah, this is when I learned about black consciousness, it was in a class. Before that, I don't know anything about Biko, nothing. But after that day in the classroom, Mem Naidu, wangifundisa straight, sikhuluma
Mem Naidu.
Mrs. Naidu, kula tabanga mfethu. Ngifundisa abutaki bangitshela ukuthi ngitomo ngislima. Me years and years bangidiscourage ngizondi score. Here's a person in her class, I'm getting 80%. The next one, I have personal issues with this one because young so angibine attention emsebenzi wakho obvious. Ukuthi kuyabhalwa kubhalwa ngenda.
Wena boyi rebel
Bathi mina kusho ukuthi ngitomo mara ngapha ingqondo yami iyakwazi ukuphasa nge-80%, ngapha iyafela kusho ukuthi ngitomo ingqondo i-A1.
I'll also go back, just touch on this. Another problem that's been created in the system. Back in the day, people did their occupations because they loved them.
Yeah.
Teachers loved their occupation. Nurses loved their occupation. Cops loved. Right now, it's a case of
accessibility and
as long as
salary.
They must just make me Minister of Education. Those ones who getting in because it's easy to get in, they will change. They will go.
People are not doing jobs because they love them. They do it because it will give me a salary. It will. That's and the benefits that come with it. That's why our health systems are failing so dismally right now. Because
education system, policing system,
everything.
sports system.
Abona amaphoyisa asafuna ukukhuluma ngawo.
amaphoyisa bathi police station bandla inkunzi.
Boys, amaphoyisa. Cabanga abantu bangene emaphoyiseni. Lathi nasiya khona mesixakekile. Lezi zingenile zayenza something.
So they took.
Kushakusena sithunzi mfethu.
So
Clearly they're working with someone.
No, mara azike ezinye izindawo sinesithunzi like
And the
esontweni
other
or
thing
something.
is, amaphoyisa wenziwa igebengu.
So that's another one.
Yeah, amaphoyisa wenziwa
Igebengu.
igebengu.
Freestyle namhlanje beyideep, yo.
Yeah, igebengu vele, we all know that. Khona this guy, let me not mention name, but there was a thingy in Soweto of those guys who were gunned down. Remember that story?
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy that was accused of that crime and drugs was a previous cop.
Nalaba bama FG. Ama soldier wakudala.
I heard a video on
Exactly.
TikTok the other day, guy. One of the
Phela
guys
labantu ababa
confessing
operatika
ukuthi
ipam.
ipamp isiwathola from amasotsha nama grenade.
Exactly.
Ezinye
Akusino maba nongaoperate AK47 kumba uhlalwazi lento le. Umuntu makazothi kuwe ngifuna AK. Yeah. Akusinto yokudlala le.
nama rifles.
Yeah.
Nama rifles.
Umuntu ibamba ngesandla esiyi-1 so. So already that thing must tell you
Yeah, because
something.
even getting the license of being Elon is very
Ngisho
difficult.
nje. Ama uniform abanye. Now we are shown that he says with uniform some of them they got from cops.
Video yakuplay.
I saw it on TikTok, some guy who's in jail. He's doing something like 87 years.
Akusina ma agenda network.
Yeah, nazo lezo mele sizibukele.
Agenda network.
Sizasitshela amaqiniso ke every time ke. Yizo ke lezisitshelayo lezi agenda network ukuthi vele siyabe sebenza namaphoyisa, iphoyisa lethu mesoboshwa belingeke.
Crime is the thing. Ask Ganyen, guys.
Ngisho kanjalo.
Inabantu bayo.
No, it looks like crime is
Yeah.
the thing.
It's the
Like
easiest way to make
crime
money
is the
right now.
easiest way and the most legal way to make money.
Silambile.
Yeah.
Ezabantu
So
abamnyama.
might as well.
Or so
Aning-
into esingayenza
aningilande
as a
lapho
second
na.
option nesiganga lesi sasitshintsha sisenza i-farm senze i-farm asithengisa amatamati ngoba bazowatshontsha sithengisa into engadleki umathobacco yabona neganga zonke bese ngasitshintsha zonke neganga sigcwele lana singazi ukuthi senzeni ngazo sithi tobacco yini nalenye sunflower
Ziyamila lezi zinto la.
zizomila kahle uzozibona la
Ukuthi you need
uzozibona
a license to operate.
siyenza lezi zinto babezelana bazostopa yabona le yile mele siyipractice ngemizimba yethu because when azi ama-license okuyenza amabhushari bafethu nisini researcheni lezi zinto ukuthi wena ufuna ibhushari uyothengisa Shoprite bumba ngeke uzuyenze lento leyo
ama-red tapes
It's
apha-
anyeke uzoyenza lento leyo.
It's predominantly.
so si-celebrate ini ma-celebrity youth
No.
Most,
Thina-
Ngithe kuwe
we
mina.
can't even get access to lezo zinto.
most of these
There's
things are
no reason
predominantly
to
white
celebrate
people's
that.
stuff. So what they are trying to do is preserve those things as much as possible for their own.
Yeah.
So that black people, it's red tape, even in farming right now. There's so much red tape for black people as opposed to white people. And who does the farming actually?
Black people.
100% of farm workers in the country, 100% are black people.
The only thing that the white person does is facilitate
Nokuthatha
how the
inyoni.
money is going to flow.
And economy bambamba last week we are imfuyo and people were suspecting black people. And it's actually white people abatshontshela nayo.
Of course.
Bayatshontsha labo. Labo batshontsha kabi kabi.
Mara idala bantshontsha
Batshontsha
laba.
yonke
From the
into.
beginning of time they've been
Angisho,
stealing.
like
They've
the problem
been
like
stealing.
that. Crime,
Abo mastermind.
corruption has only got one face.
Yeah.
Black.
Khona ezinye bezingena ama-KFC ngingamla lezi true. But zingena kule KFC for 4 years.
Yeah.
Zizona zingama health
Health
inspector.
inspector.
Yeah. Every day is touching
Oh
me.
yeah, I think I saw.
Can you
that as
imagine?
well.
You.
Ngijust ngoba umlungu. Ngisaba ukumbuza ukuthi mara which office are you coming from?
Yeah.
wena?
Sibonisa
What can we see?
identification.
What
Let's
can we see?
verify.
Hey,
And
Yeah.
ufuna
Hey,
ukuverify.
lo muntu obekazoboshwa on the day. Bebazothi okay sakuyenzela
Yeah, idla lapha.
bafone.
Yeah.
Athi na umuntu ufikile la uthi yena ubuya ku health
Yeah.
department. Udla ukudla kwethu manje.
Mahala.
So those guys baye for 3-4 years every day.
Baloko badla mahala.
Bayadla mahana babakhala
Awuthi
KFC.
nje se-game.
Bathi ya.
Sama health inspector.
Bayangena lapha nabanana angazi bebagcokani. Bangene bajike jike emakitchen bathi yenza ukudla.
Yeah.
Bayenza ukudla.
Sifuna
Bese
ukuthini.
kuyadliwa.
Alright.
Mina it's what I always say when people accuse abantu mabathi abantu bayaganga it's not right in shit yabo. Mina my thing is I don't care what you do. I care about the intention.
Okay.
Ungaba isigebengu sokuvala
As
but
long
the
uyofita umndeni wakho.
intention as long as your intention is clear and not to destroy the next person.
Uthini kahle kahle
Ngithi
Gugu?
Whoa,
mina
whoa, whoa,
kangani
whoa.
as long as your intention
Oh,
is
but
pure
it's-
guys that's
Robin
it.
Hood.
Guys, mina
Because the
bengingekho.
government
Yabo
will
kule
not
part le, bengingekho.
I'm for igebengu mina. I would
Bengingekho.
never
Yabo kule
judge
part le, guys,
igebengu. I would
bengingekho.
never. Mina,
Because
I would never.
In the process, people are killed. Our very own people are killed
No.
for their
And
own
it's
things.
as long you are not harming anybody.
Manje crime anyeke
You see, that's where I'm going to.
That's
You can't.
That's why we
You
cry.
can't
in
advocate for
in
something.
every sport there's always casualties.
Yeah.
Okay? So, Mfethu, if your intention is
Until it
pure,
comes back and harms one of your own.
I don't it's in every
unfortunate.
sport there's always casualties,
Casualties.
guys.
Yeah, out
In
of time,
every
guys.
sport there's
Guys,
casualties. The
besendi
government
isho
is
nje
useless,
ukuthi
there's
Andy
casualties. The
Fakazele.
people are the
She
people are
is on her
suffering
own.
because the
Ngithi
it's
mina.
disclaimer.
Yeah.
Indaba ye-crime
Disclaimer.
wrong because in the end people are killed for their own belongings.
Ngithi mina, as long as your intention is pure, the government won't come for you. Do what you need to do to survive.
The comments and the posts that are made on this
Please.
podcast are not
Mabhombe,
of the
mabhombe,
host
malumam,
or of the
even-
podcast
even
but
in-
by
in-
of the
G4S.
guest.
Into
I'm sure
isho
isho
nje.
kanjalo, ne?
Abangifuna bayele.
Because white people don't
Namuhla.
drive those things.
Ngithi mina,
White people don't drive those G4S
in
vans.
every sport there's casualties.
Oh, so
guys.
many malumam.
Safari government, guys. People are dying because
government.
Guys,
the
we're
government
closing
is
the
not
show.
for the people.
Wongalandi government ke.
Angeke
The
sizoboshwa,
government
guys.
is not for the people. The government is not for the It's what I'm saying. No, listen. People are dying
Asingazi
because the
kancane.
government is irresponsible.
Ama-siblings, ngiyanitshelile nala.
The government is
Ah.
no.
This is reckless. This is
It's not
reckless.
reckless. The government has been reckless with the people.
Yeah.
People
Go
have
fetch the
died
government.
because we've tried to fetch. Who is the government? Because
Right now, we
whoa,
have a problem with
okay.
hijackings in
Ngicela
Kwatatuzi.
ungibuze.
Sese-right lapho.
We have a
Oh,
problem with
Ngicela
hijackings in
ungiphendule la.
Kwatatuzi.
The question:
Siyacekezelwa
Who is
kubo.
the government?
Sibanjwe inkunzi.
Kuti, who is the government?
Anginanomsebenzi
Who
futhi.
is the government?
You.
Ulo baba wasephalaphala.
No, akusuye. Who
He
is
is part of government.
You,
Baba,
the
he's
people are
yes, the people
Okay,
are the
quickly,
government,
just
and
on
when
crime
people
and
are trying
government,
to do
quickly
the
just
right
on crime
things,
and government, just I want simple answer from you guys. Just say yes or no. Since the Guptas have been caught in Dubai.
apparently,
Apparently.
no, the
Apparent.
UAE
Because there
government
was-
said
the
there
UAE
were no
said-
arrests.
They said
The
they didn't know
UAE
anything.
said Abbas
That's
next.
extradition,
They were
boy.
not.
Eh,
Dubai.
bekuyi-decoy lento yena ukuthi singakhulumi ngephalaphala ba.
It was a
Namakhulala wayana
decoy.
ahleli kahle le.
UAE abayazi le ndaba leyo. They
Dubai,
don't know it.
that's
Yes,
amasusha.
why yini? Because your media fed you those lies. They were
Yeah.
not arrested. UAE does not know.
Nizoba extradition. Ngisho nizinibaphethe. Nizoba extradition.
Do you know how
What
long
did they
do?
extradition also is a process? Are you aware? It
Those
can
guys
take years.
won't get arrested. You must make peace with that.
Ngiyabuza leyo ukuthi are they gonna
Khohlwa
extradite?
khohlwa ngamaGupta.
Forget the
Inkinga zama
They're too strong, my
Mina,
brother.
I will ask you
Awanazo
one thing.
linkinga
What did the
esihleli nazo
Guptas
manje
do?
la.
Because when you ask who is the government, you look at people like that.
I just want to know,
Yeah.
what did the Guptas do? I think that's the first thing that we need to get. What
Many
we were
fraudulent-
told.
many fraudulent
we
things
were
that
to-
Yeah.
companies
Nabo
that
laundering,
run-
what
You
what-
were
Are you
told.
sure you were
Money,
told that?
racketeering.
Do you
Yeah.
know that for a fact? You were told that. Do
But
you
it's
know
a known
that?
fact that the Guptas own a few
Corruption
companies.
Commission.
inside
A known
Africa.
fact
State
because-
capture kanjani state
Exactly.
unganamali.
Amen.
Asiqale lapho.
So are you-
Ngivala
are
lapho.
you-
Ucapture kanjani state unganamali? Sharp.
Thank you.
Aye.
The minority does not. The minority owns 80% of this economy.
Yeah.
Majority owns
94 to
less than
exact.
20%. So how
Because-
does the majority capture the minority?
It tells you you don't have a
Nasitshela
government.
ukuthi watsini ufile. Manicede.
What's in
Aha.
Uwesibulali?
Ngibonile guys,
Ufisha
ngibonile
safety accident.
ama-comment walabantu laba ayashisa, mina ngisazi ngithini, but disclaimer ngiyishilo ngitheni, the
Personal
comments
views.
of the guest are not
And nale view
Yeah.
kaGugu yobugebengu guys ningayimamelini.
Do what you do as long as your
Please.
intention is
Yeah.
clear.
Please.
Siyabonga guys ne, please subscribe, comment, like, share, yenza konke kumele ukwenze ukuthi
Nizobosha into enizoyenza.
Do what- what you
And
need to-
ekabandi maselini.
A man's gotta do what a man's gotta
ama-siblings
do.
wala ekhaya.
Mbuzeni ukuthi ke waganga kuphi yena kuqala.
A man's gotta do. Mina ngine doctorate, guys.
Siyabonga guys, angeke bayivale yonke iminyango.
Salute.
Sharp.